Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
That thing doesn't even play right. That's stupid. Yeah. Crazy. Look at those. What's that dog? What's Benny doing over there? Those guys sure crap a lot, I can tell you. They just crap. Yep. I made that video today. Hardly anybody watched it yet again. So I don't know. It's just getting getting to a weird place, you know. Like I think it's got 1,400 views or something. It's just ridiculous. You spend 10 hours making something and it gets 1,400 views. 1% of the entire freaks. Anyways, I was just going to do some random old cases again. I don't know how long it might not take that long. But give it a shot. I have a feeling this is going to be a real slow one. Yep, so there's a guy, this guy right here named William Haynor. Unsolved homicide victim. February 19th, 1975. Kind of like Ted Bundy or something. But he's, you know, this guy's a victim. And there isn't, I couldn't find any newspaper articles on it. So I just have these couple, like this article by Defrosting Cold Cases. Maybe I'll do the other one first because it's part of Project Cold Case where I found it. So it's right here. So I know it's a, you know, different kind of show tonight, but if you're out there, you know, not really thinking people are going to support the channel tonight, but if you can, that'd be great. I don't know what else to say. It's you know, whenever you're, you know, you can just see currently we've got 75. I know it's kind of later, but even if this was earlier, you'd have the same number because it's not something popular. All right, anyways, September 16th, 2019. Hey, thanks, Richard Watts. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and the University of North Florida journalism class. Let's read there. There was an article in this article. I couldn't find it though, and plus I lost my. I'm not able to sign on right now using onto newspapers.com using my normal account, so I got a request in with them. Oh, there's my stomach. Let's see. A former Ludington resident and well-known national leader in the Seventh-day Adventist Church was found shot to death late Wednesday afternoon near the New Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. The body of William A. Haynor, 33, of Carrollton, Texas, was lying in a ditch by a passing motorist around 3:37 p.m., according to authorities. Haynor is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Art Haynor of 902 Holly Lane in Ludington. Haynor was shot 5 times in the chest with an unknown type of gun. A Dallas County medical examiner told the Daily News this morning that an inquest was incomplete and the coroner will make a ruling sometime today. I'm sure it's going to be a homicide since the body had multiple gunshot wounds, the examiner commented. According to Richard Slaymaker, a reporter for the Dallas Times-Herald, Haynor had been taken to the airport by his wife, Tana Lee, late Tuesday night. It was not immediately known where he was going. Slaymaker said Mrs. Haynor had left to attend classes at Texas Women's University at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday morning, and when she returned to her suburban Dallas home at around 10:30 a.m., she found it completely ransacked. Carrollton police said nothing appeared to be missing, however. They believe the incident is probably related to Haynor's death. Hey, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. Yeah, I mean, when I was first reading this, I was thinking, well, I read some other part too, like the women like this guy. William A. Haynor, 33. Let's see where they lived. Let's see. I got it right here of 2024 Club View, Carrollton, Texas. So right there, apparently. So that's where William Haynor lived. Okay, let me see if there's a street view there. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, that looks like that's been there. That looks like it was built around, you know, that's 1970s written all over it. But it was 2024, so is that on the other side of that building? Or I guess it's this one. I don't know where the front door of that one is. Looks like that's sort of an individual. Oh, it's not. Is that even there anymore? It's confusing. That doesn't look like it's even there when you go down to Street View. See? I mean, there's, yeah, like something's been completely changed there. So I don't know. I don't know which one that is, but it would have been right in that same area. Let's see what happens if we go to Google Earth and go back to, yeah, see, there's this sort of a separate building there, but it's not there anymore. Let's see what happens if we, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is the same. Because that's back in, that's 2001. As farthest I can go back. But hey, is there any chance you guys can help support the channel tonight, even though it's not the Idaho 4 case and or Lori or anything like that? Let's see. All right, back to this. So Carrollton, Texas, was born April 7, 1941 in Loddington, where he grew up and attended grade school. The family then moved to Gossaneck Lake, and he graduated from Mason County Eastern High School. He received his bachelor and master's degree in theology and Andrews University, Berrien Springs. He received his internship at the Seventh-day Adventist Church at Farmington, Massachusetts. He later was appointed pastor of the Seventh-day Adventist Church at Providence, Rhode Island, then later at the Sligo Church of Tacoma, Park, Washington. He then served as a director of the public relations for the Faith for Today Seventh-day Adventist Church TV program, which is on national television. He traveled coast to coast, arranging evangelistic programs and broadcasts, and at the same time was editor of the Telenote magazine, which is the Seventh-day Adventist magazine of the Faith for Today program. At the time of his death, he was the Southern United States Division Director of the Scripto Corp of Dallas. He was on a business trip at the time of his death. He was married in May of 1961 in Fremont to Tonali A. Rogoski of Fountain, and survives his, so she lived, I guess. Yeah, that's what they're saying. His hobbies were music, painting, reading, and jogging. Surviving besides his wife are one daughter, Sherry Lynn Haynor, 9, and son Robert William Haynor, 4, his parents Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Haynor, etc. He was preceded in death by an infant son. All right. So I got that, and then this is what the Project Cold Case wrote up. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and a University of North Carolina journalism class. The student credited above wrote this story as a class project. A 33-year-old William Arthur Haynor held a master's degree in theology and was the regional director of Scripto Corporation with 2 beautiful children and a wife. Things appeared to be going well for Haynor's family. Family rumors and revolving turmoil surrounding William's infidelity contrasted the outward projection of a life perfectly configured. Sherry Prather openly shares her knowledge of her parents' disjointed marital relationship, reflecting he was very well liked. Women, unfortunately, loved him. On February 19, 1975, William Haynor's body was found in Coppell, Texas. The uncertainty of the circumstances leading to his death are abundant. I wish I could separate all the rumors that are going around, Police Chief Richard Nurse said, as was reported in the Ludington Daily News just days following the incident. Sherry shares with Project Cold Case the various could-have-been theories with the rhythmic recollection as they have been the ambient track to her pursuit in finding answers for her father. She's heard all the stories: mistaken identity, real estate, land swindle, lawsuit, rage fill, significant others. That's kind of what I was thinking, something like that. Maybe one of the people he was having an affair with, maybe the husband. All right, guys, is there any chance you guys can help support the channel? We're currently at the lowest number in the history of the show. All right, I know this isn't, Lori and Chad Daybell, or, or Lori Daybell, or Idaho 4, or something like that, but, it'd be nice to be supported even when we're covering stuff that isn't one of the big ones. All right? So thank you if you have the ability to. Sherry admits the countless times she speculated that her mother, Tony Lee, was responsible for her father's murder. And that's another one that crossed my mind, because she's the one that took him to the airport where he seemingly disappeared from. The idea that her mother was at fault is a tough concept to grasp for Sherry Prather. Knowing what actually happened on that fateful February day is most important to her, even if it means compromising the relationship she had with her now late mother. I just want to know, Sherry sighed, collecting her thoughts. Back to the day the Haynor family was forever changed, there was a knock at the door. My mother went to answer the door, Sherry recalled, of the images sheared into, I think it probably meant it says sheared, into her mind forever, having only been 9 years old at the time. I was behind her. There were 2 police officers at the door. Really nothing was said, but she passed out. Sherry says her pursuit of information has led her consistently back to the Koppel Police Department, where she has been able to speak with an officer about her dad's case. While investigators have been helpful in her pursuit of justice, still there are parts of the story not shared in order to preserve the integrity of the case. It's not a total stall, however, as Sherry was able to establish some timeline and facts, although the details leave plenty to consider. Well, I mean, why can't they share the details now? It's been, almost 50 years. I think it's probably time where they could. William and Tony Lee Haynor were seen together at a Holiday Inn, so that's, the husband and wife, in a town neighboring the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Tuesday night, the 18th. Thanks, M10. I mean, one of the worst feelings in the world is when you're asking for support and nobody, bothers. But hey, thank you, M10. Gray, you do amazing work on all the cases you cover, popular or not. We can see how you care about. Yeah, I mean, I want to be able to do whatever I want to cover and have the same support. Unfortunately, that notion has changed dramatically over the original freaks that used to be here and support me for whatever I was doing. Yeah. Let's see. Why do I need to acknowledge it, Danny? Hey, everybody, if you're struggling with tornadoes out there, wish you luck. Hopefully you're not dumb enough to be watching, when you're in a perilous situation, that you're sitting here watching the show. You'd be out there trying to make sure that you're out of the danger. Danny wanted me to make sure. She felt like I really needed to acknowledge it out there. And yet she's in a perilous situation watching YouTube. Must be really dangerous out there. Hey, anyways, thanks, M10. Yeah, we get it, Danny. I'm not covering that, though. This isn't Lookner. Go watch him. He'll talk about that. This isn't a weather channel, for God's sakes. What a ridiculous... Come on, you're ridiculous, man. Let's see. Yeah, you're just like a really rude person, Danny. I mean, that's just all you are. The world does not revolve around you. I can certainly tell you that. Hey, thanks. I'm a DNA detective. What a ridiculous person. Yeah, we know. We watch the news, everybody. We get it. William and Tony Lee Haynor were seen together at a Holiday Inn in a town neighboring Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Tuesday night, the 18th. The hotel desk employee noted to officials that William had an excessive amount of luggage, more than enough for what was believed to be a short trip. Yeah, so almost like, what was he doing, moving out or something? It's weird. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna somebody just block Danny. She's just one of those. Every night she comes in here, it's never anything good. Nothing intelligently said. Nothing interesting ever said. Just all trying to get comments made about her, and I'm just not interested. Yes, if you're out there and you are being bombarded with tornadoes. Please do not watch this show at this time. Hey, thanks, Kami. If you have any information on the Unsolved, let's see, over 4 decades have passed since William Haynor was murdered, and more questions remain than answers about that night. For now, Haynor's surviving family only have memories. Hold on, I think I scrolled down after that idiot comment. Let's see. Okay. Right here. William never boarded the plane. Okay, let's go back up to here. So if you're late here, Zozo, this is the guy right here. You know, that's him. William Haynor. He was a pastor, and he, the women liked him. You can, you know, he has that look, you know. So anyways, yeah, he kind of looks like me, you know. Just kidding. God, that was pretty good. Hey, thanks, Chicken Wing and K-Me. Yeah, so William never boarded the plane, right? So you're seen with your wife, and you have excessive luggage, and then you never board the plane that he was supposed to be at. His luggage was never recovered. Wow, that's interesting. So the luggage that he had was never recovered. And let's see, recovered. Reports show that he was carrying $150 in cash and a few credit cards in his wallet, which was left intact when his body was found the following day. So, yeah, and then at his house it was in disarray too. But I think that's all just something to make it look a certain way. Over 4 decades have passed since William Haynor was murdered, and more questions remain than answers about that night. For now, Haynor's surviving family only has memories to hold on to. For Sherry, she remembers her father teaching her how to ride a bike. There was a big hill, and I remember somebody was down the hill and we were up top. He was holding me walking down the hill, and I think at some point he let me go, she recalled. If you have any information on the unsolved murder of William Haynor, please call the Coppell Police Department at 972-304-3600 and you get a cool $1,000. All right. All right, and then there's this article here. I couldn't find any newspaper article, or there was obviously newspaper articles because I read that one. But William Arthur Haynor's daughter was just 9 years old when her dad was shot in the chest with 5 bullets from a .22 caliber pistol. His granddaughter is wondering if, with modern technology and the power of the internet, there is anything that we can do to raise awareness that her granddad's murder was never solved. I think we can. It's weird when you look at that guy. It's kind of like looking at my brother's photographs. You know, in real life, my brother would be 61 or so. And he looks, you know, the last photo of him, he's 22 years old, you know. It's weird, too, because my dad's name was William Arthur Hughes. Just randomly, this guy is William Arthur Haynor, with an H even. Hey, thanks, GSU PM. William Arthur Haynor, April 7th, 1941 to February 19th, 1975, grew up in Ludington, Michigan, and graduated from Mason County Eastern High School. He got his bachelor and master's degree in theology from Andrews University, Berrien Springs, Michigan. He continued with an internship at the Seventh-day Adventist Church at Framingham, Massachusetts. Then, after he was appointed pastor, he served as a public relations director for the Faith for Today Seventh-day Adventist Church TV program and became an editor for Telenote magazine. At the time of his death, Haynor, 33, was the Southern United States Division Director of the Scripto Corporation of Dallas. He died while on what appeared to be a business trip. His remains were found in a ditch. You know, that part's a little weird that his wife would be able to shoot him and then put him in a ditch. It feels like there'd have to be somebody else. By a passing motorist around 3:37 p.m. just outside the then New Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Nobody was ever arrested for this crime. Nobody was ever convicted for the murder. Well, right, because nobody was arrested. He left behind his wife, Tonali A. Ragosi, daughter Sherry Lynn Haynor, and son Robert William Haynor. Tonali and William had one other son who passed away as an infant. The scenarios. There are several possibilities in this case. A grand jury testimony. Chief nurse and his department investigated a rumor that the person's last name, nurse, chief nurse, I guess. It's not really a nurse, but I mean, and his department investigated a rumor that came out of California. Haynor was supposedly en route to testify before a grand jury on real estate swindling. The United Press International Detroit Bureau tried to verify this but did not find anything. How come? Rumors galore about Haynor's cheating and love for other women. The marriage was not perfect, and Haynor was beloved by many. So the possibility that a husband and partner took revenge is not impossible. However, the papers that I found don't specify or confirm affairs. They simply note that many loved him. Hey, Cheryl Moran, how's it going? Yeah, so I think it's weird, the different scenarios in here. I mean, those are all of them, all right? You have this thing about but that's not even, nobody was able to prove it. That sounds like a rumor that was never verified. But hey, thanks so much, Cheryl Moran. I sent you an email, by the way, the other day, if you want to. I don't know if you ever got it. Let's see, Merit. God, that's a weird one. I thought it was matricide. This says meriticide. Isn't it supposed to be matricide? I think that's spelled incorrectly. I don't think that's a word. Let me see. Come on. Or maybe it means like a spouse. Oh, okay. That means killing of a husband. Okay. What's matricide? The killing of one's mother. Oh, I see. Huh. Interesting. Never heard that one. All right. Anyway, so it's the killing of a spouse. It's not impossible that a wife fed up with her husband's affairs gives him an ultimatum, and upon not hearing the right answer ends the marriage by homicide. Haynor and his wife were seen at a Holiday Inn near the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on February 18, 1975. The hotel front desk told police that Haynor had a lot of luggage. It did not look like he packed for a short stay. From the hotel, it says, from the hotel, Haynor should have gone to the airport. However, he never arrived there and never boarded any flight. Whether he was really going to the airport, which flight, etc., is not known. He could have arranged to be picked up and leave to start another life elsewhere. Remember, he had a lot of luggage with him. Was his wife driving him to the airport? According to the Ludington Daily News of February 24, 1975, no. Was a limo taxi called? Tonali told her father-in-law that Haynor was going to call a limo. Was any such call made? Records checked? How did Tonali get a gun? You know, if she's the shooter. Did the Haynors have guns in the house? Was any weapon found near Haynor? When he was found, Haynor still had his wallet with about $150 and several credit cards. That seemed to rule out robbery. Weird enough, not all his luggage was recovered. What exactly is missing? I don't know, but it gets weirder. Upon coming home from class, his wife finds the house ransacked. Right, her own house, though, right? After she left Haynor, where exactly is not clear. So she gets home, her house is ransacked, but she left Haynor somewhere else, and they don't know exactly where. She attended class at Texas Women's College at Dexton. Nothing was stolen, or what was sought was not found. Well, how do you know? Could Tana Lee have done this herself? Did they have neighbors? Did anyone hear or see anything? Where were the children at the time? What is clear is that there are gaps in the timeline and many unanswered questions. So either it is an incomplete investigation or the authorities have kept all that they have found under tight wraps. Forensic evidence chief nurse stated in the Ludington Daily News on February 25, 1975, that his investigation was hindered by work overload and that he was still awaiting the ballistic report on the gun. So does this mean a gun was found near Haynor? What was the ballistics report? Well, maybe they were ballistic tests on the bullets that were found. I don't know. Any fingerprints? If preserved, we should run it again through the national database. If you have any information, please call the Coppell Police Department at 972-304-3600 to remain anonymous and possibly be eligible for up to $1,000 reward. There you go. Do that. Yeah, that's weird. But I think it's just as good a chance. Well, I mean, it'd be kind of weird if some husband of one of the people he cheated with knew that she was, he was being dropped off at an airport somewhere. Kind of an interesting one, isn't it? We're not going to be able to crack it. It's just one of those interesting ones. I wish there was way more written about it. It's just kind of, that's about it. What does that go to? Oh, that's his Find a Grave. Former, that's the article. Does that also go there? Oh. Oh, shoot. Man, I guess that would have been in there. Unfortunately, my sign-in does not work right now. What if I just do with my ancestry one? Is that going to be enough? Oh, look at that. Okay. I think that's the same article, though, right? Let's look him up. So, William Haynor. $1975. Is that the only article? Ah, see? Yeah, it's crazy. Ah, man, I've got the pro one, but I sign on with Facebook, and it's not working. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? It's hard to know which one's even more likely than anything. I doubt he was going somewhere to testify. That doesn't make any sense. That's just somebody making up some story. I think it's either going to be it's something to do with his infidelity. That seems like pretty likely scenario. You know, these, you know, kind of reminds you of the John Paul guy, right? I mean, maybe, I'm not sure saying he's quite like that, but, you know, maybe people were getting pissed off at him, and maybe he was cheating on wives of people that were in the church, and there was husbands out there, somebody out there killed him for it. I mean, that's pretty good odds of something like that. I don't know if the wife would take him somewhere, because how did he end up in a ditch, you know? Ending up in a ditch seems kind of difficult for the wife to achieve something like that. Well, it's from 1975, so you might not have heard of it. Pretty old. Thanks, Walker. But yes, you guys, I'm asking for the support for the channel, even on these kind of cases. It'd be nice to be able to get back to maybe doing some of these from time to time with the faith that the support will be there even on these. All right. So now I'm going to move on to there's another one in the title, that couple that was in there. Now these people right here, I'm not sure they weren't even a couple. I don't think. I'm not really sure exactly. I haven't read all the way through it, but I think they're playing like Magic, you know, the board game, something like that. And he was killed, and she went missing to begin with. And her name is Rochelle Robinson, and his name is Johnston, Michael Johnston, with a T. All right, here we go. A Tacoma man was found stabbed to death. This is 1994, okay? So about 30 years ago. A Tacoma man was found stabbed to death early yesterday morning on a quiet road near the car of a woman acquaintance who's missing and feared dead. The Pierce County Sheriff's Department is seeking the public's help in finding the suspect or suspects in the killing of Michael Johnston, 25, and abduction of Rochelle Robinson, 19, of Spanaway, and then Johnston's body was found on a side road near Tacoma Sportsman Club. Let's see where this is. All right, so this is this is the one they're talking about. That guy at 16400 Canyon Road. Yeah, I think that's it. Probably that didn't look like that. Let's see if we can go back to 2003. Yeah, see, there was nothing. Sportsman Club. What'd they call it? Tacoma. Let's see if it's still there. Okay, it is still right over here. So there it is. That's the road. So you take that road. I bet there's a sign right there, because it's the only way you'd even know it was there. There's got to be a sign right here. Yeah, I might say that there. I don't know. Because it seems like you take that road down here and then make your way to the Sportsman Club. It looks like you shoot, gun range, etc. And they said a side road, so maybe, it could be something like that, or even one in there somewhere. I'll just put a general pin over here. This is where Michael Johnston body found. Police said evidence at the scene indicate Robinson may also have been killed. A woman leaving for work from a campground near the Sportsman Club found Johnston's body shortly before 5 a.m. He was lying in front of a 1988 gray Mazda owned by Robinson. Let's see. Yeah, so that was the girl that's missing. Rochelle Robinson owned the 1988 gray Mazda owned by Robinson. The car was parked about a quarter mile off Canyon Road. So let's see if we can figure this out. Is that what road this is? There, I guess I'm gonna have to. Okay, here's Canyon Circle. And that says like, that's not there. Canyon Circle, and they have this CYN. I don't know if that's standing for that. I mean, it's right there, so maybe that would be that. Let's see if that used to be kind of a, like almost a quarry right there. That's 2005, 2003. That's 2002, 1990. So this is before this happened. So we got parked about a quarter mile off Canyon Road East. So Canyon Road East is what it's called. So that could be this one. So CYN Road East. But man, that doesn't seem... Or is that what that is? Okay, so this is Canyon Road East, this main road. So now this is making sense. All right, let's see. Quarter mile off Canyon Road East on a road that runs alongside the Sportsman Club. Well, I think that's exactly where I have it. Isn't that what this is? That road? And I have him right there. And they said a quarter mile. Hold on, let's measure it. I guess it could be right in here too. Let me get rid of the road thing so I can see what's actually there back then. There it is. So there's this one. And the Sportsman Club is, I think it's right there. Now, what a weird place. You have a gun range, and then right over here you have people living right on the other side. Okay, so a quarter mile off Canyon Road. So this is Canyon Road. Let's just get let me do like a circle. Maybe that'll be good with a radius in miles. Okay, so that's like a quarter mile. I think I almost got it right on my guess. Runs alongside the Sportsman Club and leads to the campground. So, is this the campground? Maybe over here? Let's type in a campground. Water treatment. Yeah, there's no... Let's see. I'm kind of wondering if it was like this place here. The trailer park used to be a campground. And maybe it's this one right here. So I think he was found really close to here. I bet you that's the road they're talking about. That's what I'm going to guess. So now let's go right here. Go up And what do we have? That's 0.25, so right there. I'm going to say, I bet you was found right in there. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Moran. Going for the wave. Look at that. Yeah, so I think that's the road. You know, even back then that was there. Well, I don't think it was paved back in the day. Cheryl Moran's going for a wave. Will it happen? Will it happen? All right, so now I think we pretty well have that figured out. Police said the side road is a lover's lane, and they believe Johnston and Robinson had a romantic relationship. Johnston was married and had 2 children. Sheriff spokesman Kurt Benson said, well, that's weird. That's very similar to the last story at that point, right? The couple was last seen at the home of the mutual friend where they played cards until about 11:30 p.m. Sunday night. They left in separate cars, but apparently rendezvoused and rode together in Robinson's car. This sounds like another story that we covered a long time ago. Actually, it sort of almost sounds slightly familiar in some way, but not the card game. But apparently rendezvoused and rode together in Robinson's car to the crime scene. Investigators found Johnston's car yesterday parked about 1.5 miles from Robinson's home in Spanaway. The Pierce County Medical Examiner's Office said Johnston died of multiple stab wounds. He was a laborer who worked for a temporary employer. Benson would not elaborate on the evidence that indicated Robinson may also have been killed. Like at this point, they don't know what happened to her. Benson said Robinson was last seen wearing blue jeans, a t-shirt, and black high-top Converse tennis shoes. She worked for a sandwich shop in Tacoma area, he said. Anyone having information about the slaying or abduction is asked to call Tacoma Crime Stoppers. Although that number's not going to be good at this point. Thank you, GSU PM. All right, then second body found. 12 hours after the body of a Tacoma man was found stabbed to death yesterday morning, a Pierce County resident found the body of the victim, 19-year-old friend, about 4 miles away. The attack on the two is believed to have taken place in the 16,000 block of Canyon Road, the Lover's Lane, said Kurt Benson. 16,000. Thanks, Michelle H. The spokesman for the Pierce County Sheriff Department, Michael A. Johnston, 25, of Tacoma, was found dead of multiple stab wounds yesterday about 4:45 a.m. along the heavily wooded, mile-long road that leads to the Tacoma Sportsman's Club. Let's see if we got that right. Mile-long road. So if I just absolutely think that that's it. Mile-long road. Yeah, Tacoma Sportsman Club. And here's, I don't know if that's a mile though. If it's only a quarter there, it'd be a half to here. So what road they're talking about, I don't know. Hey, look at you guys. All right. Snarky Cinderella, M10. This is what I got when I typed. Hey, thanks everybody. M10, Snarky Cinderella, Michelle H. All right. Michelle A. Johnston, 25, of Tacoma, was found dead of multiple stab wounds yesterday at about 4:45 a.m. along the heavily wooded mile-long road that leads to the Tacoma Sportsman Club. The body of Rochelle L. Johnson or Robinson. Let me look at this one more time. Let me go back to the 94 shot. 1990, I mean. Yeah, that's got to be the road they're talking about, because this is, but it's only about a half mile to the Tacoma Sportsman Club, if that's a quarter, right? So I'm not sure when they say a mile. That's why errors, if somebody's off by a little bit in an article, it throws you off a little bit. Hey, thanks Lisa Valenzuela for the other coffee. Be nice to get some members tonight, you guys. 0. You know, those are always good. Those might be repeat customers. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back and become freaks and hang out. Let's see. The body of Rochelle L. Robinson, 19, of Spanaway, Pierce County, was found at about 5 p.m. on a private road in Pierce County. She had been stabbed numerous times. So both of them were stabbed to death. Johnson's body was discovered by a woman who was leaving the Sportsman Club after spending the night there on campgrounds at the club, which primarily is a shooting range, Benson said. Johnston, married and a father of 2, and Robinson were described by Benson as romantically involved. They last were seen at 11:30 p.m. Sunday, a few miles away at a house where they played cards with friends. Johnston's car was found in Spanaway, about 5 miles from the murder site and a mile from where Robinson lives. Benson said, and it says, police think the two met there and left in her car. Yeah, let me see if, I wonder if Ben verified, because this isn't that long ago. Let's see if we can figure out some of this stuff. Michael Johnston of is it Spanaway? No, he lives in Tacoma, or lived. Tacoma, Washington. And if he was 25 then, he'd be 50, basically 55 or so, right? Let's see. See if we can find one. There's a 56-year-old one, and if it says he's dead, that's probably the one. Yes, that's him. He deceased age 25, June 1994, and these articles are from June, so that's going to be him. And so if we get the address, history, and then go to this last one, I think this is probably it. Yeah. And you just get his address. So he lived right not too far from there. I think they just said that, right? So he lived in this house and he was married. So he lived right there. And how far did they say in that article? Body was discovered by a woman. Johnston was married and father of 2, and Robinson were described as romantically involved. Johnston's car was found in Spanaway, about 5 miles from the murder site and a mile from where Robinson lives. The car was found in Spanaway, about 5 miles from the murder site. Okay, so if that's where he lives, and what the hell is it? That's 6.8 miles. See, that absolutely is where he lived. Really close. I mean, He lived, so his car was found closer to the site where his body was found. Hey, look at that. Walker gifted a membership. All right. Johnston's car was found in Spanaway, about 5 miles from the murder site and a mile from where Robinson lives. Okay. Benson said, police think the two met there and left in her car, Benson said. Okay, they met where his car was found. Robinson's car, a 1988 gray Mazda, was found at the scene of Johnston's murder. Okay, so that means right here, maybe that's a good note to put in there. So you put Robinson's 1988 gray Mazda was found right next to him. So they took her car. Motorist dies. That's a different story. I guess that's another one right on the same page right there. So Robinson's car, 1988 Mazda, was found at the scene of Johnston's murder. And then she was taken from there. All right. So we got witnesses sought in stabbing deaths of Pierce County pair. Police are passing out flyers in hopes of finding witnesses who could lead them to whoever stabbed to death a young man and woman in an attack that began in her car on a dark, secluded road. Police are uncertain. There has to have been like an assault kit or something. I mean, something, some DNA or something left behind. Unless her killing wasn't for that reason at all. Wow, thanks so much, Cheryl Moran. Wow, that was really kind. Thank you. Robinson was described yesterday by her mother as a happy-go-lucky young woman. Police are uncertain whether the deaths of Rochelle Robinson, 19, in Spanaway, and Michael Johnston of Tacoma were committed at random or by someone they knew, said Kurt Benson, spokesman for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. We have no primary suspects. Robinson was described yesterday by her mother as a happy-go-lucky young woman with a wide circle of friends. We're devastated, said Lynn Robinson, of herself, her husband, and Rochelle, 17's older sister. You just can't believe that there are people out there in this world who would do something like that to bright young kids who had their whole futures in front of them. Johnston was described by police as a laborer who was married and the father of 2 children. Benson said, and Johnston's wife was unaware he was romantically. Benson said that Johnston's wife was unaware that he was romantically involved with Robinson. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of obvious, but it's just sort of, she finds out this after he's killed. Johnston was killed sometime between 11:30 p.m. Sunday and 4:45 a.m. Monday, when his body was found outside Robinson's 1988 gray Mazda in the 16,400 block of Canyon Road East. A road sometimes used by, let me try one thing over here, one more time. So 16,400 Canyon Road East. Yeah, see that, I mean, look at, that's right on the road that I have there. It's got to be it. And then if I do 65, I bet you it's north of that. Yep, see. Okay, so I'm really confident that I got the right spot. Just found right in there. Okay. 1600 block of Canyon Road, a wooded stretch of road sometimes used by couples at night, Benson said. Robinson probably was forced to watch the slaying. They abducted, killed, and left 4 miles. Oh, what do you mean they? Robinson probably was forced to watch the slaying, then abducted, killed, and left 4 miles away along a private road. There it is, off 66th Avenue East. Let's see where that is. They said 4 miles away? Okay, there's one up here. Also, let's see. That's it, right there. So up here, so her body was found somewhere in this area, 66th Avenue East. All right, I'll just put a pin just sort of generally over here. We don't know exactly where it was, but Robinson's body found. And it was along a private road off of it. So that means somebody's driveway or something. You know, one of these roads here. And it could be anywhere around here. Maybe right there. In fact, I'm going to guess like right there. I'm pretty good at just guessing randomly. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I just put a pin and go, yeah, I think it's right here. And then when we find the exact spot, it's like right there on top of it. Let's see. Robinson was forced to watch. Okay, the victims' throats were slashed and both had multiple stab wounds, according to autopsies by the Pierce County Medical Examiner's Office. Robinson's body was fully clothed and showed no obvious signs of sexual attack. Yeah, so I was wondering about that a minute ago. I was wondering if she was attacked for cheating. You know, maybe it's like the brother of the wife. She claims she didn't know. Or, you know, maybe it has something to do with the dumb game that they were playing. You know. Further tests were being planned, however, to determine. They need to test for DNA, though, on clothing or specific items, such as attack occur. Let's see. Let me read that again. To determine whether such an attack occurred, he said. Police used an airplane and explorer scouts in the area where Robinson's body was found in hopes of finding more evidence. Benson declined to say what was found, but said the weapon, thought to be a knife, had not been located. Police were passing out flyers with detail of the crime, hoping to get the attention of anyone who might have seen Robinson's car or other cars in either area where the bodies were found. Police were also questioning friends of Johnston and Robinson who were last seen at 11:30 p.m. at a Spanaway house where they spent part of the evening playing cards with friends. Lynn Robinson said her daughter lived with her and her husband worked at Spanaway Sandwich Shop. Okay, let me try this. Hold on. Lynn Robinson. Let's try that again. Lynn Robinson, Spanaway, Washington. And that sort of seems, how old? She would be like 51, right? If the other guy was 56. This might be it. If it says she's not alive, that's going to be her. Hold on. Okay, this says born August 1973. That's one still alive. Interesting. So maybe the 52. Well, that's not Lynette. There's only one Lynette Robinson. How could that not be the right one? It's weird. Carol D. Lynette Robinson. Yeah, I mean, it could be. But, I mean, why, if it's just random, why didn't you do a sexual... There's no sexual assault or anything. Seems kind of weird to me. Like they were sending a message or something. That's weird. Lynette R. Robinson. It's got to be the one, right? And the other guy, what year was the other guy born? Or he was 25 in 94. So if she was 19 in 94, that would be 65. She'd be 75 is when she was born. Yeah. So that's not the right person. This is 73. Yeah, she's probably, 19. You might not be in the records yet because she lived with her parents. Let's see, her daughters, many friends included some of the recently had met through online computer services, Robinson said, but she added, I don't know of anyone Rochelle Robinson and Johnston didn't get along with. All right. This one has 2 parts. Clues sought in stabbing. Police are passing out flyers. I think this might be similar. We have no primary suspect. Robinson was described yesterday by her mother's hand. Okay, I think that's the same one. So I'll just skip that one. Move on to this one. This one's on July 14th. July 14th, 1994. So, like 2 weeks later. So they have a $15,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to charges against whoever killed Rochelle Robinson and Michael Johnston in the early morning hours of June 27th. Robinson, 19, and Johnston, 25, were stabbed to death. Johnston's body was found about 6 a.m. near Robinson's car. I thought that was 4 something. In the 16,400 block of Canyon Road East, Robinson was found later that afternoon. Yeah, I don't think they have that right. I think she was found 6 p.m. and he was found 4:45 a.m. Something like that. Was found later that afternoon in the 21,400 block. Oh, let's see. Now we can do that. 21,400. Way over here. Man, that was even on the other side. Well, at least I moved it from here to there. I didn't quite get to the exact spot. Although, let me see. 21,400. Where's 21,300? That's still there. How about 21,000? How about just 21,000? See, it's not moving. That's kind of dumb. 21, how about 20,000? Yeah, that's not even moving. 22,000. Okay. Man, that's crazy. of Canyon Road East. Robinson was later found that afternoon in 21,400 block of 66th Avenue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any confidence that that is 21,400 because any other address that you put in there comes up with the same thing. Maybe if we go down to Street View, we can read a sign or something. Let's see what happens. I mean, that looks like a place you might dump somebody, though, doesn't it? I mean, just... I don't know. Why does anybody do that, silly? That's 11,507. And what did we have in the article? 21,400. So that'd be like 20 blocks, I think, or more. I guess what we could do is check up in the air and let's see. That was right there. How about we go up and like right here and see what we get. Maybe we can find one up here. That's that street right there, right? I like just moving around on Street View sometimes. Just sort of like you're on a little road trip somewhere. Just wanna, look at that. That sucks. That one had a mailbox and now it's gone. I think I saw like numbers. Oh, there it is right there. 10216. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to find that block. I'm pretty sure that's the right road, though, the 66th Avenue. Yeah, there's 66th Avenue East there. 66th Avenue East all the way to here. Let me just try that house right there and see what the number looks like. Yeah, that's a 4-digit number. So it must be going the other direction. So it'll be like way over here. But then you're getting kind of close to the crime scene at that point. And it's kind of interesting. Robinson's body found, like 66. Does it keep going over here? Like that one? See, that's 66th Avenue East there too. And then you're getting right near the crime scene. But they said it was 4 miles away though, so that can't be the one, but it's pretty strange. Like right there is the crime scene, and then all of a sudden 66th Avenue East is right there, and you could conceivably have driven on it, but then you'd have to actually intentionally go back and try to find it again somewhere else up here, which would be pretty weird. You know, way up here is also the same. That'd be pretty strange. But hey, guys, come on. Maybe we can almost reach the goal tonight. I think we're, well, we're not really that close, but we're 60%. Maybe the freaks out there want to help support the channel and get us to the goal. I think, I mean, gosh, I think Cheryl Moran's like 60% of that. So maybe the rest of you guys, if you can help support, that'd be great. Now, let's see. Where were we? We're on that one. Jerry Robinson. Oh, there you go. Jerry Robinson, Rochelle's father. That's all I had to do was wait 2 more seconds. I probably would have found it. All right, hold on. Search by. Advanced search. Okay, there we go. Jerry. I'm just looking, just a name, you know. I don't know what you mean. Just a person. Spanaway, Washington. I was trying to find the address of 21400 block, but it seemed to not exist anymore. Yeah, and even the dad, Jerry Robinson, Rochelle's father, said the money comes from family, Johnston's wife, and Johnston's parents. We're just hoping this will keep up the public awareness of what happened, he said, and maybe jog someone's memory or entice someone who already knows something to come forward. Reward posters are to be distributed by friends and family members this weekend. Yeah, I was just trying to find where the dad lived, because she lived with the dad, and maybe he's out there, you know. Gerald, you know, it says Jerry Robinson, Rochelle's father. I think it was Spanaway, but I'm not sure exactly. But I found a Gerald Robinson, but he was born the same year I was, so that can't be the dad. I don't think. Or maybe that is possible, right? If she was 19 and she was born in 85 and he was 19 or something? That's not him. Well, it does show, and he was a military person. He did live in Spanaway back in, but not far enough back. 26 different houses. That Gerald there. I don't know how important it is to have that. All right, next one. Yeah, there's been a lot of killers that target lovers' lanes. The widow of a man slain a year ago has hired, the widow of a man slain a year ago has hired a private detective to track down the person or people who killed her husband and a female friend. Wow, so that's a little odd, actually, gotta be honest. See, that's, I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Almost like you're trying to look like you're looking. You know? I don't know, it seems odd. You're gonna look for the killer, hire a private detective to look for the killer of your husband and his female lover that he was with. Hey, Noel, we're not talking about Karen Reed here. Okay? My God, you guys are like psychos, you know that? You're just like the Richard Allen people, Brian Koberger's innocent and blah blah blah. Let's see what the justice system says. But sitting there, all you guys were running around typing in free Karen Reed. You look like a bunch of raging lunatics. I just want to let you know that. None of us know anything about anything, what really happened or anything like that. So whatever the case comes up with, great. But don't pretend that you know and somehow you're doing justice by saying, free Karen Reed, she's so great. I mean, the atmosphere around that case is stupid. Okay? It's like a circus when people are walking around and people cheering, etc. You guys are like, all right? Gray, that's not nice. That's not cool, Gray. Anyways, Janet Johnston has retained Jim Wright, president of Investigations Incorporated of Tacoma, to find the killers of Michael A. Johnston, 25, and Rochelle I. Robinson, 19. The two friends were killed in the early morning hours of June 27th last year, so this is a year after. Their bodies were found in Spanaway. The victims' throats had been slashed and both had multiple stab wounds. Pierce County detectives said the case remains open and there are still viable leads, but they acknowledge there has been little progress in the case during the past year. Janet Johnston said she hired Wright because the 1-year anniversary of the slaying made her want to double efforts to solve the case. Wright, who held a news conference today to announce the renewed effort to find the killers, said he thinks people in the area witnessed what happened or know what occurred. According to police, Johnston and Robinson were last seen alive shortly before midnight, June 25th, after they left a Spanaway home where they had played cards. Earlier the next day, a woman found Johnston's body near Robinson's car along a wooded road leading to the Tacoma Sportsman's Club, a shooting range at... Oh, there it is. They actually have the actual address there. 16, probably 409 maybe, Canyon Road East. Robinson's body, I think that's... No, that's Robinson's body. And then Johnston's body was found near the club, which is right there. Let's see what the address is. And the address is 16409, which is what we just saw in this article. Not that article, this right here. Now I can't see it. Right there. 16409 Canyon Road East. Robinson's body was discovered later that day, about 4 miles away, under cardboard along a private road off 66th Avenue East in rural Pierce County. Police think the two were attacked on the road where Johnston's body was found. Robinson probably saw Johnston slain. They were abducted, killed, and left at the other location. Then she was abducted, killed, and left at the other location. But Wright outlined a different theory today. After leaving the Spanaway home, the couple went to another party, possibly at a park or other outdoor location. It was at that gathering that they met up with 2 or 3 individuals whom they likely knew. Shortly later, something went wrong, and one or more of those individuals killed Johnston and Robinson. The killers decided to leave the bodies in separate locations and drove in different directions to carry out that plan. How do they know that? Anyone with information is asked. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if it's related to the actual card game. This says this is a 1995 December article. Oh, jeez. Is that really all that's commented after somebody typed in free Karen Reed? That's it? Just 2 comments? My God, you guys. Police hope a recent tip will help them solve an 18-month-old double homicide. Pierce County Sheriff's officials recently learned the description of a man who apparently was stalking 19-year-old Rochelle Robinson. The Spanaway, who was killed in June of 1994, along with a friend, 25-year-old Michael Johnston of Tacoma. Johnston's body was found early June 27, 1994, along Wooded Road off 16,400 block of Canyon Road. He had suffered a slashed throat and multiple stab wounds. That afternoon, Robinson's body was discovered several miles away along a private road off 66th Avenue. Recently, a witness told sheriff officials that Robinson was concerned in the months leading up to her death that she was being stalked by a young man who followed her to and from her job at a fast food restaurant and showed up at other places where she was, according to sheriff spokesman Kurt Benson. Robinson told the witness that she had lunched with the man once and that he wouldn't leave her alone after that. Well, didn't you know what Robinson told the witness, so he didn't have a name or anything? The man is described as white, 25 to 30, 5'10", 170 pounds, with brownish blonde hair and acne. He walked with a slouch and may have worked for a glass company. Anyone with information is asked to call Tacoma Pierce County Crime Stoppers. There he is. Yeah. All right. And here is on Facebook, Unsolved Mysteries post. Today marks 25 years since the murders of Michael Johnston and Rochelle Robinson. On June 26, 1994, 4 young people from Tacoma, Washington were playing a game that involved mystical creatures, fantasy magic. The next morning, 2 of them were dead. The victims were 25-year-old Michael Johnston and 19-year-old Rochelle Robinson. Detectives soon discovered that Michael and Rochelle had been lovers. Hey, I wonder if can I play this? Hold on. Maybe I don't have to read it. Hey, look at that. Boom.
Today marks 25 years since the murders of Michael Johnston and Rochelle Robinson.
I switched it to Gwyneth.
On June 26, 1994, 4 young people from Tacoma, Washington were playing a game that involved mystical creatures, fantasy, and magic. The next morning, 2 of them were dead. The victims were 25-year-old Michael Johnston and 19-year-old Rochelle Robinson. Detectives soon discovered that Michael and Rochelle had been lovers. Authorities believe the motive for the double murder was jealousy over the affair. Others believe the couple was lured by a charismatic killer into the dangerous world of the occult. Michael Johnston's body was...
Yeah, we've covered many cases where killers have killed people on Lover's Lane. It's really common. I think even the Zodiac Killer did that in general. There's a whole bunch of them that did it.
Found near Rochelle's car less than 6 hours after they left the card game. His throat had been cut, and he had been shot once in the head at point-blank range. Rochelle's body was found later that day on a remote road 5 miles from where Michael's body had been found. She had been stabbed repeatedly, and her throat was slashed to the bone. Police believe that sometime after 1 a.m., Michael and Rochelle parked their car on a quiet road near a popular shooting range called the Tacoma Sportsman's Club, where they were later approached by their killers. Fred Reinicke was a detective for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department at the time of their murder. He said that Michael and Rochelle were forced to dress hastily. Rochelle Robinson had Michael Johnston's t-shirt on, inside out, when her body was found, and they were removed from her vehicle, probably at gunpoint. According to Detective Reinicke, forensic evidence suggested that Michael was handcuffed, then forced to kneel near the front of Rochelle's car. Law enforcement believes that Michael Johnston was a passive victim, and that the real target was Rochelle Robinson. There were several knife pricks in her neck, which would indicate that somebody held a knife to her throat to force her to accompany him. Detective Reinicke concluded that the killer then drove Rochelle to the isolated road and brutally murdered her. He believed it was a crime of passion. Kevin McMitchell was a friend of Rochelle's and recalled how, in the months leading up to her murder, she was terrified that someone was following her. Rochelle felt that she was being stalked by a guy that came into her work approximately 3 or 4 months before they found her. She felt that he'd followed her home several times, that he'd come to her work and stare at her until she left. Unfortunately, the stalker's identity was unknown, and after a year, the official investigation began to wind down. To keep the inquiry alive, Michael Johnston's wife Janet hired private investigator Jim Wright. Jim Wright played it by the book, and the first person he questioned was Janet Johnston. According to Janet, Wright wanted to know if she was aware of Michael's extramarital affair. Janet says she was aware of the affair but wasn't sure if Michael and Rochelle were going to end their affair or if Michael was going to leave Janet. Janet passed a polygraph test, and Wright dismissed her from any involvement in her husband's murder. However, he did discover that Michael loved the world of fantasy games, black magic, and the occult. Wright believed that this passion put Michael and Rochelle on a collision course with their killer. Due to the nature of the crime, police believe that people who were involved in possible occult-type activities could be the kind of people that would commit this type of a murder. More than a year had passed since the murders. Every way he turned, Jim Wright found the trail stone cold. Clearly, this was an investigation that demanded an unorthodox approach. Wright then turned to Nancy Meyer, a well-known psychic who had helped police on more than 300 homicides. She told Jim to not tell her anything about the case, and to work the case purely and cold with her. Without revealing his destination, Jim took Nancy to the road near the Sportsman's Club where Michael had been murdered. She was inundated with visions and had a completely different story of what happened that night. According to Nancy, Michael and the murderer knew each other from their involvement in black magic. Nancy believes that Michael was the object of the killing and not an innocent bystander. As Nancy saw the crime, Michael and Rochelle were parked on the isolated road. She believed that the killer, a man in his late 30s and 2 young accomplices, crept up on the unsuspecting lovers. Nancy said the killers were accusing Michael of violating cult-like regulations. According to Nancy, the killer then stabbed Rochelle and, along with his 2 accomplices, proceeded to drive Michael to the Sportsman's Club. Meyer claimed that her crime scene impressions were so vivid that she was able to envision all 3 assailants. The authorities, however, are unmoved by Nancy's visions, or theories that the double murder was linked to the occult. They remain convinced that the killer will be found among Rochelle Robinson's friends or acquaintances. Meanwhile, Michael and Rochelle's families wait for a resolution. Nancy Meyer did give more details about the killers. She said the older man was probably a coach at a local high school and may have killed before. Nancy also said his 2 accomplices were in danger of being killed themselves. The murders of Michael Johnston and Rochelle Robinson remain unsolved.
That's them. I think that's the same story. Yeah, that's the same one. It's also Unsolved Mysteries. Well, there you go. That's it. What do you guys think? I think it might be that stalker guy. I think it's just one person. I don't think there was multiple people. I think it's just one. And I guess you might think there was multiple people because why wouldn't one have ran when the other one was being stabbed? But, fear, I guess, Yeah, they did mention that. Yeah, the psychic didn't, yeah. Isn't that crazy, though, you guys? I mean, those are just 2 random cases that are both pretty interesting, and nobody's ever going to be talking about those ever again. So, we did, so that was good. We didn't reach the goal tonight, but didn't really expect to on a got really kind of lucky to even come anywhere near it. That's why I don't do anything but the popular cases anymore. Kind of sad. Let's see. Thank you to Richard Watts, M10, I'm a DNA Detective, Me, Chicken Wing, and then we had GSU PM, Cheryl Moran, which I think those two made up about all but like $30 of the entire thing. Then Walker, Cheryl Moran, and Chicken Wing, GSU PM again, Michelle H, Snarky Cinderella, M10, then Walker gifted one, and Cheryl Moran gifted 10. So there we go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, I'll probably still do them every once in a while, just like I did tonight. It's just frustrating. You know what I mean? And you guys know that it's frustrating, and yet it still happens. You know. Was that written on Unsolved? Yeah, it's on. Well, there. Yeah, it was on Unsolved Mystery website, and it was on Facebook's Unsolved Mystery. But anyways, all right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you guys, I guess tomorrow. Yeah. What tomorrow will bring, we don't know. I think next week, though, starts the trial. So don't watch the trial during the day, you guys. All, you know, get it together, and we'll do it in the evenings of, you know, Lori Vallow Daybell. I'll speed it up. I think we've already got that one set up, actually. I thought we did anyways. Yeah, I think we had something set up already for it. And then we'll just, I'll edit out all the garbage, and we'll see if we can, you know, get it done in 3 or 4 hours at a speedy rate. All right? Yeah, well, for the people who love the cold cases, you know, try to help support the channel during those nights so that we're able to afford to actually do them. As you can see, last month, I'll just tell you the reality is last month I covered the, you know, I did a lot of videos and a lot of nights on the Idaho 4 case because I find it interesting. That's the one I'm, you know, the most interested in currently. And last night was like almost double the revenue of the month before, right? And that's because the month before we were just doing cases that nobody was really interested in. And so this month, you know, we're starting off, it's sort of slower, you know, again. Don't know what the deal is, but it just kind of proves the reality that when you don't cover the really popular cases, even you guys, the ones that watch the shows every night, aren't as enthusiastic in terms of helping support the channel. So I guess it's one of those things where, you know, even the regular freaks don't like it. It didn't used to be that way. I guess before it used to be where there was so, you know, wasn't as many people. Now you can go, oh, screw this, let me go watch this other schmuck over here doing, you know, covering the freaking Karen Reed case, you know. Yeah. So, all right, everybody, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time. Oh, yeah, by the way, thanks to, there was Lisa Valenzuela did a couple coffees in there. So, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. Yeah, I think they're interesting too, Miles, but even you weren't supporting the channel. See, that's what makes it difficult. Can't do it. Like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you. I don't know if you're still out there. I did send you an email, Cheryl Moran. I don't know if you got it. Let me know if you didn't get it. Thank you, and be safe.